Now, this is where your skills are going to get tested because there's not a chance on this planet that you know what that says. No way. It's not possible.
You're right. But I'm going to try.
Should I show it?
Sure.
Get the
Wayne Hoffman!
I combine human intuition and science that I've developed over the past 3 decades in studying the human
All right,
mind.
now talk to me about what we're going to be seeing tonight. Is it dangerous?
A mentalist will predict the future, figure out what you're thinking, implant a thought secretly into your mind. It's somebody who uses psychology for entertainment.
Are there things that you could teach me so that I can get better in business and in personal relationships?
What I'm about to teach you is the process and system and the secret to how I became successful and made millions of dollars doing something I enjoy. And it's this.
Wayne Hoffman, welcome to Cleared for Takeoff. It is so good to have you.
Thanks for having me. Are you ready to change some lives?
It's what we're about, man. It's what I'm all about. I can't wait. I've been looking forward to this for a long time. Some would say it's like 20 years in the making.
Wow.
I mean, we met like
Yeah.
20 years ago.
It has been at 20 years in the making in actuality.
It's crazy. We can get into that later, but I think what I'd like to start with is asking you, you call yourself a mentalist. What is a mentalist?
Right. It's a weird word that a lot of people aren't familiar with. Unless you've seen the TV show The Mentalist, which was on years ago, people might not be familiar with it. Essentially, a mentalist is a mind reader. That's like the very short one-word answer. The truth behind it, and if you want to evolve that into something a little bit more clear, it's somebody who uses psychology for entertainment. So a mentalist will do things like figure out what you're thinking, implant a thought secretly into your mind, or not so secretly, or predict the future, or other things that are seemingly psychic without claiming to have supernatural powers.
Mm.
That's essentially it.
So you don't claim to have some sort of supernatural gift.
No.
You just are really practiced at your art.
Yeah, so it's I combine human intuition, which we have, and I think I have a naturally good intuition, and I combine it with tactics and techniques and science that I've developed over the past 3 decades in studying the human mind.
Okay, so give me an example.
Sure.
Show me something.
Sure. So I can kind of give you general concepts. I think most people are familiar with the concept of body language reading, right? If a person leans into a conversation versus sitting back with their arms crossed, if they're looking away, you can tell whether or not they're interested in what you're saying. We use nonverbal communication as human beings way more than you think. We are constantly reading people. Whether you're in a business meeting, whether you're on a date with someone, we're reading people and accessing information. So, for the past 3 decades, essentially, that's what I've studied and that's what I do. So, do you want to see like a demonstration,
show me
like a
something.
performance?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So, you can choose something. I'll let you choose. Do you want to choose a name or a random word?
I'll choose a name.
A name. What's going to happen is this. You're going to concentrate on a name of a person you know. You're going to picture their face and think of it over and over in your mind. And I'm going to see if I can read you enough to get these details out. Now, just look at me for a moment. Now, I know you and I've known you long enough to get kind of a baseline of your mannerisms, and I know you well enough to kind of know how you move, how you speak. You can listen for regional dialects of which you have one.
I have a nice old Minnesota accent.
you
Did you
do.
want some hot dish?
And you don't have to be a mentalist to know that, but I can pick up on very subtle cues. Now, I already have a letter right away from you.
Come on.
I feel like you almost thought of a different person
I did.
in the very beginning, but you went for the male that's in your mind. Is it a man? Because
Yes.
that's what I'm getting. That's more of a statement than it is a
Yep.
question.
Yep.
Um, I keep getting the same thing over and over from you.
Come on.
Now, there you go. You did it again. So there's going to be 2 of those in there. Did you feel yourself lick your lips a
Yeah.
moment ago?
Yeah.
Did you feel yourself do it the time previous to that?
No.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now, the interesting thing is I'm hesitating here because I'm getting 5 what I call placeholders from you, but I'm only getting 4 letters. Uh, I know there's at least 4 letters in the person's name.
Okay.
Are there 5 letters or no?
No.
Then I'm just going to stick with what I get. Do you know what it means when you do this and lean on the table like you are and
I mean, I
lick
do it a
your
lot,
lips?
so I don't know. What does it mean?
It means nothing, but I wanted to see what you would do after I called you out on that. Did you feel yourself fix your suit jacket and then put your hands there?
Yeah.
Well, you didn't fix your suit jacket because you had to.
No.
It was subconscious thought coming out as movement. Now, I'm going to show the cameras what I have here, but I don't want you to see it.
Okay. I'll shut my eyes.
This is a name that I got out of his mind. Now, question, did you think of a relative or no?
No.
Is it a celebrity by chance?
No.
Okay. I don't know the construct of who this is. You can open your eyes. For the very first time, what name were you thinking of?
Greg.
Like that?
Shut up. Wait a minute.
It's crazy, right? So what I've done is I figured out ways to find out what's going through people's heads, and it could be conscious or it could be subconscious. So this is what a mentalist does. We have the ability to pluck out thoughts, and I never know what I'm going to get. It could be I could have gotten like multiple people. I could have gotten nothing as well. But so that's an example. So a mentalist uses human behavior, body language reading, neurolinguistic programming, hypnotism, interrogation techniques, biochemistry, all these techniques in order to
Hold on a
do
minute. You
things.
just asked me to think of a name in here. But earlier you had me think of a name,
Yeah, I
and I wrote it down. I did write it down.
okay. Did
on
you
a-
tell anybody or
I
show
told,
anybody?
well,
You did or no?
nope.
You're lying to me. Do you see
Okay.
this?
Hold on. All transparency. I wrote it down on that note card and I showed it to the
You
crew.
did. Okay.
But
Okay.
there's no way you would have known it.
No, no, of course not. Yeah, you can. It's crazy, right?
Dude, that's wild.
Yeah. So I've developed this skill and turned it into a career.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So how did you figure out that you had this inkling to become this and do this? And then how the heck do you pursue something like this?
Yeah. So my story is very simple. I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania. We are on the Monopoly board, the Reading Railroad. People think it's the Reading Railroad, but it's actually the Reading Railroad. And there was a magic shop in my hometown. So I would go there and hang out with mentalists and hypnotists and illusionists and all these characters. And so I got into the mystery arts, as it's called, whether it's card tricks or hypnosis. And then I studied psychology when I went to college, and I tried to figure out how to use psychology for entertainment. And then I found kind of this field of mentalism and mind reading. And obviously we have history of, Alexander the mind reader, the guy with the turban who's been shown in, historical things, movies like what is it called? Big with Tom Hanks in the 80s, the Zoltar machine. That's based on the mind readers. So I started studying the mind readers of history. And now I started presenting a show. So locally in my area, growing up in Pennsylvania, I became known as the guy who could do these amazing things. So I started, between ages, I'd say 15 and 18, I was already performing. And then 18 is when I added in the psychological stuff. And what happened was I organically built a business and I became an entrepreneur. And that's where the journey really begins because now people are offering to pay me to do this. And I had to figure this out. Well, I need a contract and I need to figure out a way to, like a CRM system didn't really exist in essence back then, but a way to keep track of my customers. And I had to kind of evolve. So eventually it grew to the point. Now, mind you, I'm 18. I'm fresh out of the gate. And I had to make a big decision because everybody's telling me, you got to get a real job. But here I am following my passion and making money. And I had to make the ultimate decision. Do I do what everybody else is telling me to do, or do I follow my gut and my heart? And I decided to run away with the circus, almost literally. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do this. So in the beginning, it was really difficult. I wasn't getting bookings, but I needed money. I had to go on dates and go to the movies. I had a car. I needed gas. And, my beginnings were very humble. My mom was a waitress. My dad worked in an aluminum foundry, real salt of the earth. And we weren't by any stretch of the imagination millionaires. So, I determined at that point I wanted to be a performer. I have this little niche thing of being able to get into people's heads that I was developing. And from there, I decided I'm gonna make this hard left and become a performer and figure it out. And the journey really began there.
My mind is still looping on this thing we just did a couple minutes ago because I keep thinking to myself, how on earth did you come up with that name? To write down Greg was impossible.
Correct.
And what I keep thinking about is, and I'm sorry, but I want to bring it back to this really quick. Is it exhausting to be able to read what you can read? Like, do you go through the world and you just see this kind of like fourth dimension and it just wears you out, or do you have to turn it on?
So that's a great question. Some of the things that I do, I read naturally. I can tell when somebody's lying to me. I can tell general thoughts and general vibes of where someone's going. I've been asked to come in on high level mergers and acquisitions meetings, and it's like they have me be a consultant and watch the people and read. So I can get a sense of where things are going very deeply um, without trying. However, it's not like in the movies where I'm hearing voices that are telling me the answers.
Yeah.
It's hard work. The hardest part about what I do is making it look like I'm not doing anything at all.
Mm. So
It is
covering
exhausting.
up the
Correct.
magic basically.
Yes, it is the way I guide conversations and the things that I do, and it's very difficult, and I have to be on my toes at all times. So it's just like anybody, man. Nobody wants to work unless they have to, right? When it's your day off
But
and
is
you're
it exhausting to be able to see this stuff? Like, I keep thinking, like, if you can read pretty much any lie, does that
yes,
just wear you out where you're like, "You're lying.
it,
That's a lie."
right.
You know, because most of us are like, "Oh, really? That's what happened? Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's what you're saying." You're like, "They're lying, bro."
It took me time to figure out how to handle it. So I'll give you an example. When I was back in my younger days dating people, if somebody would lie to me, you have the initial human response. Why are you lying? But what I realize is because I have this skill set, I have to run it through a filter now.
Mm.
Every single human lies. Everybody. Every single human lies. You just have to figure out, is it malicious or not?
Mm.
So when I'm reading somebody, I put everything through what I call the real boy filter. I go, okay, I know this information and I probably shouldn't. Now, sociologically, what is the proper thing to do here to maintain relationships and yeah. So yes, it's not exhausting, but it's definitely different.
So how okay, so I wanna figure out how this skill set I mean, you've taken 30 years to develop this really, really sharp skill. But is it something are there things that you could teach me so that I can get better at the negotiating table, so that I can get better at reading people and reading a room and being better in business and in personal relationships?
Yeah, so absolutely. Well, I'm going to say this: it doesn't stop at this podcast. It doesn't stop at this moment because we only have so much time. I could teach you everything right now. What I will say is this: there's a phrase. It's a quote actually by I think Jim Rohn said it. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job, because by listening to this podcast, you might have an interest in this type of conversation, but go beyond it. Take a negotiation course. Okay. Highly recommend it. I took many negotiation courses and I'm a certified negotiator. I had to learn, I didn't have to, but I not only did I want to learn that skill set because of my interests in human psychology, but because I wanted it to help my business and help everything else. Highly recommend it. If you don't take a negotiation course, you're missing out on amazing
Do
opportunity.
you have one you recommend? Like,
Oh,
such
there's a million. I mean, if you read a book, Chris Voss is a
he's
great
so great.
negotiator. There's a course back in the day that when the airline magazines in your seat back pocket, you would open it up in the middle of the Caris negotiation course. I took that as well, and that was fantastic. You know, you go somewhere for a couple days and you're learning, and it's interactive. And I'll tell you what, I have made so much money off of those negotiation courses that I took than anything under the sun. And the thing that I learned is everything is negotiable. Everything is negotiable. If somebody tells you this is the price, here it is, that's negotiable. I don't care what it is. Everything in our lives is negotiable. So I would say that. That's my advice. I could give you techniques and things to
But
do.
yeah, maybe give me something tactical that I could
Sure.
use. Like, give me a couple of ideas on how I can get better at reading people.
Yeah. So, oh, wow, reading people or
Well, how about
negotiation or
both? Give me maybe like 2 or 3 for both.
sure. So,
I'm taking notes today.
for negotiation, I would say this. I'll just give you again. This is a very specific technique, but using time as a negotiation tool. Okay, the number one thing you want to do first of all is research and know your information up front. A ton of research and have a ton of knowledge up front.
On
That's
the topic or the person?
on everything that you're doing. You
'Kay.
want to know everything, just as, but obviously on the topic. But if you know things about the person's children, where they go to school, what their hobbies and interests are, how, that they love golf and they love yachting or whatever their interests are, if you know those things, that you can use those to create a rapport with people. People like doing business with people they like. People are more apt to give a discount and negotiate with you if they're your friend, right? So having knowledge and being able to use personal information to create a rapport is definitely a great one. But going back to what I said about time, there's a story that's told in one of the courses where a guy went to buy a sailboat and he calls the guy up. He said, "Hey, I'm interested in buying your sailboat. Can you meet me and we can look at it?" So they had the guy drive a really long distance and he looked. He goes, "Okay, I'm going to talk to my friend and my buddy." A few days later, he called him, "Hey, I forgot to look at the sails. Can I come down and just check the sails and make sure the rigging points are good and da 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 da." So he makes the guy take the boat back out and take it on the trailer and meet him again. And he lays the sails out all the way. And this took a long time and they folded them back up. And then he said, "Okay, hey, a few days later, hey, listen, I want to have my wife come
This is
down."
the kinda buyer that everyone hates, by the
Yeah,
way.
but here's the deal. Yeah, I mean, essentially,
You're like, "Oh, you wanna come back and check something else? Do you want to kick the tires, sir?"
but what happened was this. The guy finally, after all of this, lowballed him on the price, and the guy's like, "Yeah, no, here, just take it because I'm so sick of dealing with you." The guy had invested like a week of his life in this guy trying to sell this boat. So he wore him down using time. Now, not only that, each moment he was learning something about the guy selling the boat. He could use that information. So essentially, using time as a leverage tool in negotiation. But again, this is just one small piece of the puzzle. Like that is only one tiny little tool. Now, I always say, people ask me, they say, "How did you do it?" There is no answer. I
Mm,
can't, there's no one answer I give. What I've done is I've created a toolbox that I reference. Asking me how I do it is asking a home builder what tool they use to build a home.
mm.
Well, I
A
can't
lot of
answer that.
tools.
It depends on each situation. So, who am I dealing with? Are they old, young, drunk, buzzed, sober? Do they know what I do? Have they seen me on TV? Is this a professional encounter or a casual encounter? And then I reach in my toolbox in that moment and use a tool that's perfect for the
Mm.
circumstance. So, I recommend, and again, where the listeners are going to get value is take time to study things like negotiation.
Mm.
Get a book on body language reading. Get tools after you're finished listening to this podcast. Invest time to research tools that will help you.
Okay, so one of the questions that's just burning in my mind is how can I tell if someone's lying to me?
It's a great one. So I have a continuing education credit course for trial lawyers to be able to tell when someone is lying on the stand. And there are indicators. First, and again, this is very surface level. You have to get a baseline on the person. You have to know what their natural mannerisms are. Do they sit with their arms folded on the table? How is their natural body language? So if you know the person's body language naturally, like for example, if you've been married for 40 years, you know when that person is lying. Why? Because you have 40 years of data that you can kind of bounce those things off of. In the same way, if you went out to dinner with your wife, if you have a set look, this menu, you know what your wife is going to order before she even orders it because you know her, you have that evidence. So getting that baseline and knowing natural body language first and foremost. Now, I will say it's not an exact science. It's not like blood typing someone where you know that they're B positive blood. It's not a chemical science thing. So you're never going to be 100%. So don't go getting divorced because you think your spouse is cheating on you after this. But there's things where if somebody has a drink on the table and they take a sip of water while you're talking and they know the question you're about to ask, it's a preparation move. That's one thing you can watch for. I always find this one interesting. When you're I call it the speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil thing. When you're a child, if you say something naughty, you'll go, or if you see something scary that you don't like, you'll cover your eyes. Or if you hear something you don't like, you cover your ears, right? That never leaves, it just changes. As adults, we still carry those. So here's one that I like. If somebody is, let's say, going to a gentleman's club and he comes home and his wife is like, "Where were you?" And they lie and say, "Oh, I was at over at John's," and they touch their mouth like this. It's a move where they're doing the speak no evil because they know what they're saying is bad and they're trying to stop it and hide it and cover it. Or if they're saying something that is a lie, they'll often touch their ear because it's an extension of this move where they don't want to hear themselves lying. So, oh yeah, I was over at that. So that move. And on and on. So those are kind of little things. People say, well, if you look up and to the right and up and to the left, they're called eye accessing cues. So if you want to search that on your own time and look at eye accessing cues, you know, um, there are things where if somebody is recalling a thought versus an emotion,
Mm.
they'll look different ways. For example, if you look up, it's difficult to access emotion. Okay, so they're thinking up here. If you look down, it's often feeling. So again, those types of things are super interesting. And again, I could talk. I don't want to eat up the entire podcast on it, but you can find these things.
So you've trained your subconscious mind long enough to read these things where you just know.
And my conscious mind.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
I'm
what I'm
saying
saying.
you've
Yeah.
become so used to it now, your subconscious
Yeah.
tells you this without you even knowing.
Yes.
So what is the
It's
difference
true.
between the subconscious mind and the conscious mind?
Well, I mean, the bits of information that are floating around, all your experiences and your memories, and we are programmed as human beings. Yeah, I'll give you a great example. Um, One of the things that I do is I teach people. I have a keynote speech, okay, and I travel around the world giving this keynote to founders, CEOs, and so on. And in the keynote, one of the things that I teach people is a reframing because we carry subconscious thoughts from our childhood. And one of them is this uh, hearing the word no, people say is bad, right? If somebody tells you no, you can't have that, that's bad. When you're a kid and you say, "Hey, I want some candy," no, not before dinner. Or can you buy this toy for me at the store? No. Or I want this, I want to eat
Have
candy.
you been following me in my kitchen around?
So when you're a child, you hear no a lot because you want to eat candy for dinner. Can I have marshmallows for breakfast? No, no, no. So what happens is you have this association that the hearing the word no is bad, right? It's
Sure,
the
we all associate no as
no
something
as a
negative.
correct. And so that's a subconscious kind of fluid thing in the back of your mind. But what I tell people is you can update your software. You're an adult now. So one of the things that I teach people, and this is a runaway concept, is um, you can actually start to realize no is just a piece of information. No, you're adding the story onto it. No, you're bad. No, you're not good enough. No, I don't like you. No is only a piece of information, just like yes. There is no emotion to it. You're just learning something. So what I did was, and I think one of the keys to my success is this, and I'm about to reveal a secret, and not how I do the tricks, but how I became successful and made millions of dollars doing something I enjoy. What I did was I changed the definition of the word no, and now no is a good thing. And when you start to realize no is actually a good thing and you start proactively collecting them, your world completely changes. Many moons ago, there was a show on air that many listeners may be familiar with, the Ellen DeGeneres show, right? And that was toward the beginning stages of my career. Uh, Everybody wanted to be on Ellen because it was a huge platform to get your name out. And people come up to me all the time and they say, "How did you get on Ellen?" And you know what I say? I called and asked. And they go, "Oh my God, I never even thought about that." I said, "You want to be on Ellen? Did you ever contact them and ask to be on the show?" And they go, "Well, no." Well, there's a novel idea, right? So I started once I got these surprising yeses. What I realize is the more yeses, or the more no's that I collect, mathematically, the more yeses I collect. And if I get a no, I'm back to where I started. So in my keynote, I have someone come up. Here, actually, let's do it because I always carry this with me. Do you mind doing a little
I'm
experiment?
excited. Let's go
I'm
bring out
I,
another
I'm
experiment,
I'm
Wayne.
telling you right now for the for the people listening, this coin is about to change your life.
Okay. So you're holding a coin that looks like a silver dollar.
It's the size of a silver dollar. On
Yep.
one side it says no,
Yep.
and on the other side it says yes.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna play an imaginary game. I'm gonna hand you the coin. I want you to take it.
Can I look at it?
Yeah, sure. Check it out. Now,
Do you
back
carry this with you everywhere you
yeah.
go?
Oh, yeah. Yep. It's a pinnacle part of the
Looks like
keynote.
you've had this a long time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I started carrying that coin back. Did you actually sidebar? Being an entrepreneur, when COVID hit, my career ended. I had 80 dates, a world tour cancel. I'd become up with something else. So I actually started an e-commerce brand for magicians called Conjurer's Cabinet. And I looked for interesting things and artwork, and levitating flower pots and illusion and puzzles, things that magicians would like. And during my research, I stumbled across this coin. And so magicians and mentalists could use it in experiments, and we sell it on Conjurer's Cabinet. But I realized in my keynote, I talk about yes and no. So I
Mhm.
said, this is the perfect tool to use for this experiment. So I want you to imagine that you're on a game show and I handed you that coin. And I want you to imagine that I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and I'm going to say go. And I want you to flip that coin.
Mhm.
And every time it lands on yes, I want you to imagine you win $10.
Okay.
But if it lands on no, you don't win anything, but you don't lose anything.
Okay.
Okay. You just have 30 seconds to
Get
and
as
see
many
how,
$10 as I
yeah,
can.
how many yeses can you get? So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna actually start a timer,
Okay.
and I want you to, when I say go, you're gonna flip the coin, and we're gonna count how many yeses you get within the 30 seconds.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
And go.
No.
Okay,
No. No.
flip it in the air.
Yes.
That's one.
Yes. No. Yes. Oop. No. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. I'm trying to make more money.
Six,
Yes.
7,
Yes.
8,
Yes.
9. All right, stop there.
Yes.
So you got what? 10?
I got 10.
10. Okay, I
Yeah.
think I added that up.
I didn't even count the no's. I
Right.
just counted the yeses.
Exactly. Now, let me see the coin. When I handed this to you and I told you to flip it,
Mm-hmm.
and I started that timer, What did you not do?
I didn't care about the no's.
You didn't exactly. You didn't
Hesitate. I didn't
yeah,
hesitate.
exactly. Here's what you didn't do. You didn't go, "Oh, well, I don't want to flip the coin because what if I get a no, then I wouldn't get the $10, right? And oh man, I wouldn't get the $10 if I get a no." And then he and hawing, and meanwhile, your 30 seconds is elapsing and you get nothing. Now, what I didn't tell you, and this is just for fun, and you're a friend of mine, but you're actually getting the money. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. This is a gift because you actually played the game.
Wow. Thank you so
Now,
much.
I want you to buy something super fulfilling and personal for yourself, like whatever it may be, and that's your gift.
Well,
Now,
thank you.
you have cash in your
I
hand
do.
because you did not fear hearing the word no.
Right.
And that's the lesson of life. Go out and ask for the things that you want. I'll show you. Let's do another example.
Yeah.
Put that in your
All
pocket.
right.
Take your phone out.
Okay.
We're gonna get weird here.
Okay. Let's get weird.
I want you to Google a local pizza parlor.
Okay.
Okay. Just search whatever pizzerias near me.
Okay. Pizza near me. Okay.
Okay. Find one, not like a chain, a big chain, but like a local mom and pop, a locally owned where the owner might be in the place. Okay.
Okay.
And what you're gonna do is you're gonna call them right now. And this is what you're gonna say. You're gonna say, just hold on, wait, yeah. You're gonna say this. Hi, my name is Charles. I live near you. Right now I'm filming a podcast with my buddy, and we were talking about pizzerias nearby. And I thought of you and I chose you. Um, and I was wondering, first, can I speak with the manager? And don't worry, this isn't a sales call and it's nothing bad.
Okay.
If, get to the person who's in charge. And when they're on the phone, you're going to tell them the story. And then you're going to say, I was wondering if you would be willing to please give me a free pizza and have it delivered to my studio right now. And then you're going to shut up. And they're probably going to be gobsmacked, like, what the hell is this? They might hang up on you. They might call you crazy. We have no idea what they're going to say or what their reaction is. And if you want like a large pepperoni pizza, just tell them we love it. And we can tip the driver if they actually do. But go into this wanting them to say no. Go into this wanting and praying that they say no to you. Okay, do it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask for the manager.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask him to send us a free pizza.
Yes. And just say, will you please, I was wondering, would you be willing to please give us a free pizza and have it delivered to our podcast studio? That's all. But don't think.
Wayne, if I've been uncomfortable in a while, it's right now.
Good.
I hate asking for free things. I hate it.
It means you're learning.
Can I help you?
Hi, is this the manager?
This is the owner.
Oh, hey, owner. What's your name?
What's your name?
I'm
How
Charles.
can I help you?
I'm Charles. I'm a customer of yours. I used to live in Maple Grove. You're my favorite pizza. I'm
Okay.
calling you because I'm being put in a very odd situation, recording a podcast with a very good friend of mine, and we're doing an exercise, and I'm calling to ask you if you would deliver me a free pizza.
I probably would need more information than that.
Sure. I'll tell you that the guy sitting in front of me in my studio is a world famous mentalist, and he's making me do an exercise in learning about yes and no. So he's asking me if you're willing to give me a free pizza.
Sure. Why not?
Amazing.
Wow.
Hey.
Okay. Okay. I that's very kind of you. Would you like me to send my assistant Jake to pick it up? Because I know you don't deliver here.
And yeah, we can go there. That's fine. I'll only send you one if you tip my driver well.
You damn right I will. I'm gonna make sure your driver's very happy when they leave.
Oh, what would you like?
Meat lovers? Do you have a meat lovers pizza?
Mm-hmm.
Just a big meat lovers
Or meat.
pizza. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I will go get the order in.
Jessica, thank you for
Right.
helping me on this very
You're
awkward time.
welcome. Thank you.
Bye. Oh my God.
Now listen.
Oh my gosh, Wayne.
Now stop for a second. Let's reset.
Can I take my jacket off? I'm like sweating.
For continuity's sake, you'll want to
It's
leave
been
it on,
it,
but
it's
you
been
can take it
it's
off.
been a long time since I've asked somebody for something free.
Now listen, what
I'm gonna leave it right.
just happened?
Well, I sweat through my shirt.
Don't worry about that. But listen, there's a lesson in this.
Okay.
We're about to eat some delicious pizza, brother. And I haven't eaten today, and I'm starving, right? Now, w- you don't want to take advantage of the concept of asking for things that you can afford, right? You don't use this as a negative thing where you're just going out and asking to take. It's not like that. You don't have to ask for things from small businesses. You don't have to ask for you could call up somebody you admire tremendously, somebody in your field that is at the top of their game, right? And you could ask them to be your mentor sincerely, and they will tell you yes or no. If they say yes, you have now been given a fast pass to success. Um, there's a great quote: everything you've ever wanted is on the opposite side of fear. The reason I was able to make millions and millions of dollars in my career and build an entertainment agency and multiple companies and brands is because I stopped fearing hearing the word no.
Mm.
No is part of success. Failure is part of success. My buddy Brian Scudamore from 1-800 Got Junk, he wrote a book called WTF, Willing to Fail.
Mm.
And this concept, he and I really resonated on this because you have to be willing to fail to be a successful business person. You have to be willing to fail to be in a successful relationship, with your wife. Things aren't going to always go right. You know what I mean? You're not always going to win. Failure is the path to success. Everybody thinks the path to success is a straight line. You probably more than anybody know you've probably hit roadblocks and
I
failures
mean,
and
it's a mess.
setbacks.
It's a complete mess.
Yes lives in a world of no. You have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So if you want to be on a television show, call them and ask. If you want somebody to work for you, but you can't afford it and you can only afford half of their salary, ask them if they'll do it. You might be surprised. The amount of yeses that I have heard in my career just because I asked have been tremendous. In fact, I'll give you a prime example. You and I have worked together professionally. I've used IDCOM as the company who does production for huge events for Fortune 500 companies. And I called you up to handle the whole thing because I know your company is going to do the best job. You know how, I mean, I'm thinking of one off the top of my head that we did in Atlanta. It was a huge production, right? Do you know how it came to be? They hired me to be a speaker and a performer at their event. And you know what I said? I said, "Hey, who's doing your production?"
Mm.
And they said, "Well, we have a company we've been working with for a long time, but I'm open to suggestions." And I said, "Will you please allow me to help you by trusting me and bringing in a new production team?" And they said, "Yes." And you definitely, at minimum, from that same company, got two major deals out of it
Yeah.
because
Because you
I
asked.
asked.
Because you asked.
And that's a core principle that I lead with when I do anything, business, personal. You have to ask for what you want from the universe, otherwise you're not going to get it.
How do I get over the uncomfortableness? I mean, I know you're gonna say repetition, but dude, I don't. If you asked me to make another call to a pizza joint right now, I would not do it.
Right. And this is the credo for anyone who's trying to do anything big. Uh, the answer is get comfortable with the discomfort.
Hmm.
Get comfortable with the discomfort. Again, I've studied the human mind my entire life, and the things that I learned and the secrets that I learned can help business people excel. One of those things is get comfortable with the discomfort because you are a human being. You're never going to get rid of feelings. You're never going to get rid of emotions. The key is to sit with them, process them, understand that these are natural, but doing it anyway. You did it anyway. You fought through it. They always say courage is not the lack of fear, it's having fear, but doing it anyway.
Mhm.
And that's what it is. The most successful people that I've worked with, after doing my keynote, I've had executives, owners, business owners, and founders come to me for one-on-one coaching now to guide them through these principles and kind of use optimization of their mind. They're already on the body, they're taking the peptides and the testosterone and they're exercising, but they're not working on their mind. Your mind is its own thing, So I'm helping them and coaching them with paradigm shifts. And one of the things that you have to realize is, anyway, you have to work on your mental state and being comfortable with uncomfortable things. The business owners and leaders I work with, they sit in the discomfort and know how to process it. We're always fighting to get rid of emotions. We're always fighting to get rid of negativity. We're always don't. It's part of life. You're not going to come out of this unscathed. You will bleed, you will get cut, you will get hurt, you will be scared, you're going to fail. It's part of the human experience.
Mm. Okay, so you were telling me earlier about this 4-step process that you teach, and I wanna learn all about it, so
Let's do it.
tell me about
I'll
it.
give it to you as compact as I can.
We got hot pizza on the way,
And
so
yes, we do. So for everybody listening, what I'm about to teach you is the process and system and the secret to 30 years that led up to success. Right now, I'm going to give you a framework that led to a person starting with nothing and now living their ultimate life. And it's this: the first step is feel. Every single thing that we do is driven on feeling, whether it's physical or emotional. If you're hungry, you eat. You're tired, you sleep. Thirsty, you drink, right? You're sad, you cry, right? These things that are taking place are driven on emotion. I see so many founders and that have startups that are trying to make a quick buck. Okay. Oh, I want to just make a ton of money, right? But they don't really care about what they're doing. People out in the workforce, they get a job because they need money. A lot of people just need to pay the bills and they hate their job. It's a common thing where, I hate work. I hate my boss. I'm got to go work again. And they live for the weekend.
it's Monday again.
Yep.
Can't wait till Friday.
Right. And that's life for I would say almost the vast majority of people. And they don't have a feeling or a connection to what they're doing. They actually, if they do, it's a negative one. Right. So you have to start with the feeling. The reason you start with the feeling is if you have an emotional drive for the end goal, it's going to get you through the tough times. I'll give you an example. I love what I do so much. I love performing and I love inspiring people so much that in the beginning, when I first started getting gigs, I couldn't get a job because I had to perform. So some days I made money, some days I didn't. And in the very beginning, and I rarely tell this story, but I was so in love with what I did, even though I was making no money, that I slept in the back of a 1987 Chevy Astro van. And I would park the car in a Walmart parking lot, and every day at 4 a.m., the street sweeper would go by with that yellow light and the whirring sound, and it would wake me up, and it was okay. And the reason it was okay is because I knew I was doing what I loved and I knew that I could figure it out. There was no other plan B. There was no other thing where I was, maybe I'll get a job doing something else. Once I committed to following my passion, I was committed to it. And my genuine love and my feeling and emotion toward it got me through the tough times. So this also permeates through company culture. If you're already leading a successful company, your feelings as the leader, whether you see them or not, are affecting your team. If you're the curmudgeon that walks in the office every day and is always complaining and talking about the things that are wrong, and you have this general negative demeanor all the time, that's going to affect your team and it will affect your bottom line. You're going to lose money if you're constantly in a bad mood.
For sure.
It's not quantifiable. I can't show you paperwork and graphs right now, but it's a fact, right?
So you're saying feel in you're just saying acknowledge how you're feeling
Yes.
and then feel those feelings and realize them.
Yes. Now, feelings drive success,
Yep,
right? And feelings, it goes from a pushing you forward, right? Getting you through the hard times and the hurdles.
for sure.
But it's also in reverse. Once you've made it and then you're at the top of your game, your feelings are now creating emotional responses with your team. Now, I know the company that you lead and I know how you operate and the vibes just being around. I mean, everybody here is cool and chill. And it seems now there's probably kerfuffles. I don't know if that's a real word, but there's problems, right? They're getting into it and
Yeah.
there's a problem. And
Well, and some people are naturally more positive and some people
correct.
have to work at it,
Correct, but that's
right?
the key. Work on recognizing, and it's again going back, work harder on yourself than you do on your job.
Mm,
Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And part of that is uh, having emotional intelligence, right?
yeah.
So that's step one is
Okay.
feel. Make sure that whatever you're doing is driven by a good why.
And that work you're doing on yourself, you can take that anywhere,
Yes,
right? That's not stuck where you're at.
correct.
Right. Okay, number 2.
Number 2, so once you feel something, for me, I felt like I wanted to be a performer and I wanted to be on stage entertaining people, and nothing was gonna stop me. I had the driving force, the desire, the human innate thing that I knew this was going to happen. Now, I knew I had this feeling of something, but then you go to the second step. The second step is define,
Okay.
right? We all have feelings and emotions, and we all have dreams and visions of the future, but we don't define what they are. And this is a huge hurdle for everybody. So I'll give you an example. Um, do you want to be rich and successful?
If it's a byproduct of doing something great.
And that's the driving force and the emotion behind your why. But the answer is if you ask anybody this,
But yeah.
the answer is yes, right? But guess what? You can't be those things. What? What do you mean? What do you mean you can't be rich? You can't be successful. You're looking at me like I have 3 heads. Do you know why I say that? Rich is subjective and needs to be defined. I spoke with a lady who lived in Cambodia, I believe it was Cambodia, and I said, what would make you successful?" And she said, "To move to the big city that's 4 hours from me.
Mm.
And if I just move there, I'm successful." Relocating her physical body somewhere else, she achieved the highest and ultimate version of her self, right? For other people, success is defined by, the net profit of a business. Sometimes success is raising children and being a stay-at-home mom and making sure my kids are safe and taken care of. Rich, you can't be rich. If I looked at your bank statement right now, it won't say rich, right? What is rich? You have to define it very specifically.
Mm.
Does that mean I need $250,000 in liquid funds? Does that mean I need a real estate portfolio of $14 million? Does it mean I have 2 Ferraris and a Range Rover? And it's going to be different for everybody.
Well, and that target, I think, moves.
Yeah.
As you get more and more
Yes.
of the things you get closer and closer, that target changes
But
and moves.
you just said it, target. You have to create the target.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be rich and successful. How many of them make the target?
Yeah.
Nobody does. Very few. It's the people that make the target that make it. For me, I said a lot of people say, "Well, I want to be famous." Well, as an entertainer, fame is part of it. You want to be notable and get your art form out, right?
Yeah.
Well, what's famous? Well, my first step in my definition was, well, if I went on a major TV show, well, now I have to pick one, and I picked the Ellen DeGeneres show, and I called, and they said yes, right? I identified a specific thing that would be a jigsaw puzzle piece in my entire picture of what I considered success. So when you think you've defined what you want, define it again, right? And then when you think you have that defined, define it again. If you can define success to a phone number or an email address to call or to email, then you've done it.
Hmm.
If you can take the concept of success and boil it down to a doable action, you've done it. I asked one question, and here's a nugget that's going to change lives. Ask yourself this question. What is the next doable action I can take to get one step closer to considering my goal completed? What is the next doable action I can take to get one step closer to having my goal considered done? So it's, um, let's say you want to upgrade your phone. You have your phone right there, right? Upgrade it right now. I'll wait. You can't, right? Well, you would have to go
I'm a little
online and you
confused.
would have to
It's the
order
iPhone 17 Pro
yeah,
Max,
yeah.
so you actually can't upgrade it.
Bougie son of a but the point is you would have to go online, contact your carrier, order the new phone, and maybe you forgot the login information for your account online. So then you have to hit maybe forgot password, and then it'll send an email to your email. So then the next doable action at that point, if you did all that, is open your emails. So it's not upgrade phone, it's open emails. So the doable actions are the tiny little things that get you one step closer. And those are, here's the famous quote. What's the best way to eat an elephant?
Yeah, one bite at a time.
One bite at a
Yeah.
time. But people don't know what the bites are in order to get there. So again, define. That's the second step.
Okay, number 3,
Plan.
plan.
So this is going into I feel a driving force. I'm emotionally connected to it. I've defined exactly and specifically, I've defined exactly and specifically what that thing is, right? And now I have to go and do things. We often have these visions of grandeur of I'm picturing myself on the yacht and I'm envisioning and I have my vision board and I'm going to manifest this vision and I'm happy and healthy and all of this stuff. And then they kind of just wallow and they just kind of float around believing that the universe is going to just deliver it.
Yeah, we've all met those people that go to, like, conference after conference after conference, and
Yes.
you're like, "Yeah, you're going to a lot of conferences, but you should probably get back and, like, do some of the work and stuff, right?"
Yes. Yes. You have to engage with the universe. Let's take the example of a person who feels they want to be a singer and they maybe have a naturally beautiful singing voice and they defined that they want to sing on the biggest stages in the universe, but they go in the middle of the woods, they live alone in a cabin, and they never talk to anybody. Okay. And they've envisioned this and they feel it and they meditate on it every day. And I'm a big believer in meditation and the power of positive thinking, and I'm very open minded. But you have to create a business around the things you have now defined and learning what to do. Like, for example, just asking the simple question, what's the next doable action I can take? If you only just do that, that already will put your plan in action.
Mm.
But you have to figure out business strategies now. Okay, what do I need to do? This is where education comes in. You're planning, you're making moves. One of the things I tell people is you can't do it alone. I'm a mentalist. I'm a mind reader. I can't even practice without another person.
Mhm.
It's not like a guitar player where I can sit in a room and practice. I need people to even have anything, any movement, a practice, a performance. And the same thing goes for life. You cannot do it alone. Surround yourself with people who will support your mission. There's an old concept where if you have a birthday cake and a candle and you blow it out and you make a wish and you're not supposed to tell anyone the wish or it won't come true, that old superstition, I believe the absolute opposite. I believe you should tell your wish to every human on the planet because the universe wants to support you. You just need to go out and ask for it and get people around you to help you. IDCOM is not a company that is Charles Ide. It is the people and the crew and the team behind it. This podcast doesn't exist. The viewers don't see this. There's a ton of people behind the cameras. I'm looking around, right? And this whole thing happens because you have the good fortune of having an amazing team. The same thing goes for anything that anybody is trying to accomplish. Shout your goal from the mountaintops and create doable actions to get you there. So plan. That's
Okay,
the third one.
plan.
Now, the final one, which is do, also known as execute. People will feel something that they want to accomplish, this burning desire, right? And they define it and say, okay, I want to be on this mega TV show, or I want to be on this Netflix special or whatever. And they create the plan. And now they get to the moment where they have to make the big phone call, and they have to call this person and ask for the big ask. And you know what they do? They do nothing, and they self-sabotage, and they
Mm.
sit there
Why
and
do,
they
why do you think we do that? Why do you think people self-sabotage?
it's because we're telling ourselves false stories. We are human beings that are driven by emotion, and the stories that we're telling ourselves are negative because we believe sometimes, and often incorrectly, that we're not good enough.
Why do we do that?
It's human nature. We're
Why?
it's fear. It's fear because we, as human beings, don't believe that success is going to happen. I think, then here, when you talk about fear, the number one fear in the world is the fear of public speaking. Okay? A lot of people don't know that, but if you've ever been asked to do a speech in front of people, you've
Yeah,
probably
like people
felt
would
that.
rather die than yeah.
Yes. And
I mean, I don't know if they would actually rather die. I don't know.
well,
Maybe
here's why. It's funny you should say that. So I, studying the human mind, wanted to find out why is it? Why is public speaking the number one fear? So I did research, and I found that it stems from the time when we were cave men and women, right? Cave people, if you will. When you would go out on your own and you would get injured and you broke your leg and you couldn't hunt and gather, you're doomed. You can't walk, so you're dead because you can't hunt anymore and you're not going to eat. So what did we do? We became tribal. So if Charles gets hurt, well, we can go out and hunt and gather and bring Charles food while he heals himself, right? And then if I get hurt, hopefully Charles will pick up his bow and arrow and go catch a bison and a whatever and help feed me. Now, what happened was, if you said something in the tribe that all the other people didn't like, they would kick you out of the tribe. And what is that? Certain death. So we genetically and psychologically kind of now are programmed to equate saying something in front of a group of people incorrectly with certain death. So what I encourage people to do is realize, hey man, just you can if you say something stupid when you're talking in front of your company, you can just go to McDonald's, bro, afterward and eat a double cheeseburger. You're not going to die. But yeah, these things often stem from our just kind of human nature through the millennia
so you think
we've
it's
been
wired
programmed.
in to just be afraid of
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, and when you can fight fear, everything you've ever wanted is on the other side.
It's
Fear.
you know what's funny? Since I've known you is I've noticed about you that you don't get phased by weird awkwardness. It is the coolest thing in the world. It's like something I wish I was better at because no matter how uncomfortable a situation is, you seem to feel very like well practiced in it. And it must be just the years of practice because I'm going, man, how cool would that be if I could remain as agnostic about the weirdness as you are? You're just so cool about it. Like that whole pizza thing, and you're sitting over there cool as a cucumber, like you've done this 10,000 times. Maybe you have. And I'm sitting over here sweating through my jacket.
Yeah.
Like, how did you develop that? Is it just practicing awkwardness over and over and over again till you're like, whatever?
It's not practicing awkwardness because the goal isn't the awkward and it's not to fight it, but it's to understand it. So, and thinking about this, I'm a mentalist. I do weird things. I live in the weird. I'm the guy that brings the weird to the table. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to
People literally pay you millions to be weird.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
You're like, whatever.
it's true.
Yeah.
I live in the weird. But when you're fighting through fear, it's recognizing exactly what's going on, right? It's taking a moment to go, I'm feeling this, but now don't attach a story to it. I'm feeling this. This is natural, but is it bad? Is it bad to be human? Is basically what the question is. No, it is the essence of who you are and your being. What I always say is, you are a divine being having a human experience.
Mm.
right? So to feel fear is very natural. But now the question is, what are you going to do with it? It's like
Yeah, either
playing
hesitate
cards.
or move forward.
Yeah. If you're dealt a hand, if you're playing poker and you're dealt a hand, that's natural. The hand is the fear, essentially. Now, what are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Are you going to play the hand? Are you going to fight through it? Are you going to fold? It's your choice. A lot of things that we encounter as human beings are feelings at first, but ultimately become decisions. It is, I'm fearful now, but now you have a choice. You can fold. I'll tell you what, when you were on the phone there and you were uncomfortable and you, you were feeling these feelings, you could have easily just gone, sorry for bothering you. I'm just going to, okay, never mind. Bye. And hung up. But what did you do? You sat in the discomfort, right? And you were there marinating in it.
Well, I tried to bring her into my discomfort so she could feel it because she was like, "I don't know if I trust you. Who, are you a
Right.
scammer?" And I was trying to like humanize who I am to her
Yes.
by bringing her into my own discomfort. I don't know. It was very
So let's teach the listener something in this too, because this is a tangent and I think it's valuable. Let me ask you a question. What's the difference between someone who does tricks and a magician? Do you know?
no.
Right. There is a difference. The magician does the tricks, but is also a storyteller. It's Uncle Bob knows a couple tricks, but a magician brings you into a world and makes you care about why he's doing what he's doing, right? And inherently, storytelling brings in an emotional component of of human perception and experience that creates connection. And this is a tool I like to teach leaders all the time. Storytelling is one of the most powerful swords you can wield, both internally with your team and public facing when you're advertising, promoting, or marketing. Um, People resonate with stories. If you look back through the history books, there's always one main character who was the storyteller. He sat around if you look at ancient Greece and all these things throughout history, because the people who tell the stories people who tell stories can start wars, move mountains,
End wars.
end wars, and everything in between. So once you can involve people emotionally in your business or in your negotiation, you're humanizing it. And we often like to use technology and the internet and AI and all these gadgets and stuff. But at the end of the day, who runs your company? Humans. Who's the person deciding to cut the check for your company or not? A human. These people, we put them on a pedestal sometimes, the buyers and CEOs of companies. You know what they do? They sit on the toilet and they do their business just like we do, and they cry and they fall. They're human. So I think adding a connection and you told the story to that lady of what happened. You're
Yeah.
like, I'm sitting here, and you painted the picture, and it allowed her to not view you as just this weird moment, but as a human being having a human experience.
There's a couple more things we got to bring this in for a landing. There's a couple things that I would love for you to blow my mind. We have two things that we said. You said you've got two things at the end of the podcast you wanted to do,
Yeah. I can do I have two
or more, two or more. You could give
I
us
mean, like,
more.
yeah, we can
Give us
do
10.
we can do w I have I again, we can do a million things, like, but, do you wanna see something cool?
I want to see something cool.
Awesome. Let's do it.
I, w- I want to, I want to have my mind blown.
I have 2 cans here that are crushed and emptied. I got them from your, room over here. Question, and the glass I borrowed from the kitchen. Do you prefer Coke or Pepsi?
I like Coke better.
Coke? You got it. 2 crushed empty cans. You can see that the can is, dented, you can see it's open, and you can see it's crushed. And you chose this one, you could have chose the Pepsi had you selected it. But I want you to imagine that we can travel back in time. I want you to imagine that every time my finger goes around the can, that we can go 1 minute into the past. Now, I learned something, and that is this: human perception is interesting, because we create things and perceive the things we create. For example, time. Did you know time isn't real? Time is man-made.
Sure.
And you can say, well, if humans didn't exist, you could still go out into the expanses of the universe and you could see planets moving around their suns and measure that. Yeah, that's called movement, not time. Time isn't real. And I also found out lemons aren't real. Did you know that? Lemons don't exist in nature, they're man made. Google it.
I
I'm
love
telling you.
lemons.
Look, watch the dents in the can.
The dent is going away.
Now, if you
What
just
the?
continue to watch, the dents are going to come out of the can because time isn't real, so our perception of it can be shifted. Now, we still have a hole, but if you imagine I can grab the hole and throw it away, that's your imagination. So you're grabbing nothing and getting rid of it. A lack of nothing is equal to the presence of something, like a seal.
Oh my gosh, get out of
And
here.
that is completely and utterly, tap on it, verify it's resealed. Now listen, we're gonna fill this up.
Yeah, I was going to say it sounded empty.
Listen. Fill it up. It's getting heavier. Listen.
What?
Keep going. I want every last drop back into the can. That's completely refilled. Now, I just want your listeners to remember one thing, and that is this. If you feel, define, plan, and do, you can create a world of magic.
Get out of here. What?
Cheers. Here, you can have the rest of it.
Oh my gosh,
This
dude,
has been-
get out of here. What in the dickens? That is blowing my
What in
mind.
the Dickens?
What in the dickens? Dude, that's crazy.
Yeah. That's a fun one.
You know what I'm really dying to do?
No.
You
I'm not a mind reader, Charles.
So yeah, right. You okay, so earlier we were talking and you said, I want you to write down a word that represents a thing.
Okay.
And you told me to put it in some sort of box. So I had a pistol safe in my car.
Okay.
And so you had me lock it into the pistol case.
Yes.
And
Okay.
when this happened, and for everybody that's watching, I want to be really clear. We didn't set this up. You gave me a note card and a Sharpie, and you said, write it down. You walked out of the room. I wrote it down, and I locked it in that box. This is not a setup. I even came in here to the crew, and I said, I wrote this down. It's locked in there. He did not see it. So I have that box right here, and it's still locked. I have not touched it. Now, this is where your skills are going to get tested because there's not a chance on this planet that you know what that says. No way. It's not possible.
You're right. But I'm going to try. Is it okay?
There's no way he knows. There's no way. This is where we find out if you're a witch.
All right.
If you get this, I'm walking out of here, man. I am so walking out of
Okay.
here.
Let's try it. So,
And the crew has been watching. You've seen this box has not moved.
okay, let's do it. All I need to know is this. Is it a word, a phrase, and does it have any numbers involved with it?
There's no numbers,
Okay.
and
It's
it
just
is
something.
it's 2 words.
And
That's all I'm
and
giving
you
you.
wrote it down and locked
I wrote
it.
it down on a Sharpie on a 3x5 card,
Okay.
and then I locked it with this key.
Think of it.
This is gonna blow my mind. If you do this, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Did you tell anybody what it is and the whole?
Nope.
Does anybody on Earth other than you know
Nope.
what it is?
Nobody.
And was anybody in the room when you wrote it down or locked it into the safe?
No, you left the room.
All right. So it was after I left. You did this on.
That's why I was like, dude, we should have a camera in here to prove that you were not here. But
Well, then it would
that's-
be on camera. So then that would defeat the purpose. But,
okay.
Look at me.
Do I need to be thinking about it?
Yes.
Okay.
Charles, I want to ask you a question. Do you feel like your thought was something that you came up with on your own and randomly?
Yes.
What if I told you you're wrong and that I've been acting this entire time? What if I told you I implanted the thought into your mind? Would you believe me?
No, I wouldn't. No, I
So-
wouldn't. No, because there was no mention or talk of anything
No, there
at
wasn't.
all.
No. So after I show you what's on here, whatever the outcome may be, you're going to have to determine yourself whether I put it in your mind or if I was able to somehow read it. And I'm going to leave it up to you to decide which one it is. So I'm going to show everybody, and I'm going to show the camera. Now, they don't know what is in the box.
No, they
correct?
don't.
And I don't either.
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to show them what I have here. This is what I believe is in the box, and I have it written here.
All I can see is the back of the board.
Yeah, and you can't. I know I'm showing it, but you can't see what I have.
Mm-mm.
Okay, but I've shown already what I believe it to be before we open the box. That's the important part. So I'm not going to show you just yet. I want you to open the box and reveal what it is. I've already shown them what it is. I can't change my answer.
I'm freaking out right now. Should I show it?
Sure.
Get out of here. Stop it. That's not possible. There's no way that is not possible.
I want to show you something.
That is not possible.
I saved my screen background image of my phone to something.
Shut the front door, man.
It's a black hole.
Dude,
Yeah, and that's real. I mean, this is my phone. Yeah. It's a black hole on the image. Yeah.
dude, I don't even know if I want to know. This is not. I remember writing this down when you're not in the room. I shut the box. I locked. I was like, "There's not a chance on the planet this guy gets this thing. Not a chance."
And here we are. Yeah. Magical things can happen in life, brother. And I think for all your listeners, when you start to live in that and think otherworldly and open your mind up to the infinite, right? And utilize the things we discussed today, but act in a manner where you almost have a childlike sense of wonder on earth, where there are no ceilings, then you create the real magic of life. You know?
How you put so what you're telling me is one of two things happened. Either A, you put this in my mind and I wrote it down, or B, you read my mind.
That is correct. It is one of those two things. And I'm going to let you decide which one it was.
And for those of you listening and don't see this, I wrote down the word black hole. And you wrote it down the same way I wrote it down. You didn't even write it next to each other.
Yeah, weird.
Dude, you creep me out, like, in the best ways, but holy crap. Are you for hire full time?
Yeah. You know what's funny? I do these things like and I read people's minds, but people forget this is my job.
Oh my god.
So, yeah, what I do and how I earn money doing this is companies hire me to perform an entertainment, like an entertainment show, or they hire me to do the keynote where I'm, providing takeaways and really discussing the things we discussed here in this podcast to their team. And I travel around and I do theaters and stuff like that. And then I own an entertainment agency as well, Hoffman Entertainment. So, which, we book other entertainers because I've done it. I've made a great kind of career for myself. And now we represent other great acts and other great speakers for corporate events and book them on the stages that you and your team are putting together and organizing. So, but yes, to answer your question, I am for hire. Uh,
So, I always like to finish with this question. What do you wanna be remembered for?
it's great. So, when I first started doing this, it was all about making people smile and be happy. I loved the reactions that I got, and that was the reason why I started doing it. But now, after nearly 30 years of doing this, I think it has evolved and it has grown, and it's twofold. Number one, I want every person that I've encountered and any person that encounters a person that I encountered to have the better opportunity to realize we're all still the same person that we were when we were a child as we are as adults. Two things change. You get older and you learn stuff. That's it. But we can get stuck in the daily rhythms of life, get up, go to work, come home, eat dinner, fall asleep, and rinse and repeat. And we forget that we live in a magical world. So that's the first part. I want people to be inspired to look beyond what they can see and feel and hear and what their senses are because we're on a big, gigantic rock right now, flying, hurtling through infinite nothingness. And that to me is magical. But second, and a more practical part is I want to use my platform as a performer. I want to be able to evoke emotion from people and use it to serve a higher purpose so people can live their best lives. And that's where I really found my purpose and my legacy is after I'm long gone, um, having the opportunity to have these people that I interact with that see my keynote or even watch my show, because I talk about these things with it, carry on this concept of anything is possible. Uh, and I want that word to spread. I want everybody to learn that it's not that I'm magical, look at me. It's I'm magical and so are you. And that sums it up.
You are living that. You are living that, and you have been a an incredible friend. You've been great. You've been as great a friend a guy could ask for, and
Thanks, brother.
I sincerely mean that, and I thank you for coming on and blowing my mind. I don't still am kind of freaked out about the black hole thing,
It's crazy,
but
right?
we should have hot pizza showing up shortly,
Oh
thanks to
no,
you.
we are no, thanks to you.
I just wanna thank you for coming all the way up from Florida to be with us today,
It's
and
my pleasure, brother. I wouldn't be anywhere else in the world. I support every venture that you do because you're a good person.
thank you. So are you. Thanks for joining me today.
Of course.
Alright, thanks, Wayne.
Yes.
Get outta keep that rolling. The pizza showed up. Here, put it here.
Yeah, that's a great
You gotta be was he? Good job. Thank you.
this is the evidence right here that yes lives in a world of no in physical form, bro. Physical proof that yes lives in a world of no.
Look at that.
Yeah.
This is insane. You got that. You talked me into getting free pizza. It's the first time I've ever had a free pizza in my life.
Wow.
Right there. Hey, if you like this episode, make sure you subscribe, share it with somebody you like, and of course, make sure you check out my company, IDCOM. We produce conferences and events all over the US, and if you know of a conference or an event that's looking for the best company in the business, check out idcom.com.